Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, welcome to the A-Cuff House Studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza on the television side now. Welcome. It's Circle Country TV, circlecountry.com. You can watch there. You can link to your favorite streaming platform. Charlie Mattos to my right, Kelly Sutton to my left, studio director Annie Nye. Jeff Rock Solid Roberts is in master control. He is upstairs.
I feel like an air traffic controller.
He has an apartment like a really plush Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan apartment
penthouse.
up there. Yeah,
he's in the penthouse.
You have to key in. You know, you have to do the doo-doo. Otherwise you don't gain access.
He's got the fire escape too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love having the fire escape.
so we're in here in
You
the
know
glass
something
box.
I don't?
No, I don't mean for a fire. I mean just to go out and enjoy fresh air on the fire
Something
escape.
Kelly and I need to know before you evacuate the building and leave
I
us in
was
here.
slightly worried for a second. I am looking around like, where is the nearest escape hatch for us? Okay.
Kelly tonight with John Conley, William Beckman. It's always great to see him.
Yeah,
in
he's
here.
terrific.
Yeah, he is a Radney Foster prodigy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's out of Del Rio, Texas. Share the same hometown. Next generation. Dylan Schneider, Connie Smith, and Marty Stewart are there. Marty, of course, with the fabulous superlatives. Henry Cho, Ashley McBride, whom you were talking about among your entertainment stories this morning. It's a real positive, particularly here at holiday time when people struggle with what you're going to tell us about.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. An admission that she made on social media that kind of caught me by surprise. So we'll talk more about Ashley. We also have a new official Tennessee holiday state song. So congratulations to Miss Brenda Lee. All of the details on how that went down. And John Party getting ready for CMA Country Christmas. It's happening tonight. We'll give you more details so you can get in the holiday spirit with John Party.
Yes.
Especially if you like tractors or fast cars.
Hey, from the A-Cuff House Studio, historic spot here on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, we welcome Antonia Bennett to Coffee, Country, and Cody. And we were just talking off the air. You said you try to make it at least once a year to Nashville.
That's right.
But this visit is particularly special because you got a new album. That's
Yes.
also, so you're doing some media while you're here.
That's right.
And you would have come here with your father through the years, with whom you shared the stage for, 25 years of your career?
Or more.
Yeah.
Pretty much since I could walk and talk. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time that you were ever in studio? Were you young enough that it was just always a part of your life? Or was there one moment where they were like, no, we're actually going to let you go in the big studio and record your voice?
Well, I didn't really record my voice until much later.
Okay.
But I did a lot of live performances, and I can't really remember the first one that happened. But there was a lot of great experiences and mentors along the way. I got to work with Count Basie and his orchestra, and I have pictures of the great guitar player Freddie Green standing behind me, who used to play in that band. And a lot of my dad's musicians really were my very first mentors, because I was on stage with my dad and with them, and they just kind of brought me up.
Here's the short list. Rosemary Clooney, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Gene Kelly.
Oh.
Just another day with Dad.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Were you friends with Dina? Did you know Dina Martin?
Yes, she's a lovely lady.
Yeah, she comes through town every once in a while.
Yeah.
I wondered if y'all got to hang out. I mean, we have the same kind of feel, I guess, here at the Grand Ole Opry. We think about so many kids that grew up backstage that were country stars kids.
Sure.
It's just a different genre, a different feel.
That's right. And, I love show business people because they're very versatile. They usually have pretty good critical thinking. They know how to create something on the fly, like if something's not working, and it feels very comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back. How did your dad come to music? He was born Anthony Benedetto. Do I have it right?
Anthony Dominique Benedetto.
In New York.
Yes.
I've read these incredible stories about his service in World War II that
Yes.
affected him deeply emotionally, really for the rest of his life. Am I right?
That's true.
Share
Yes.
a little of that, what you know about it.
So what I know about it is that he thought he was going to be a painter. He went to the school for industrial design, and his brother was the singer. He was an opera singer, and they called him the young Caruso. So everybody thought he was going to be the singer. My dad actually got kicked out of the Catholic choir because he had a raspy voice, and they thought he was like they called him like the blackbird of the choir. And from what I understand, when he was in the Army, there was a Thanksgiving celebration, and he had brought a man back to his Thanksgiving party in Germany that was from his neighborhood in Queens, and this man was a black man, and his superior didn't like it, and so he put him on duty picking up dead bodies. And a Jewish man who worked as the head of the big band in the Army had heard this story, and it really upset him. And so he made my dad the librarian of the big band. And then from that, he slowly started singing songs with the big band. And when he got out of the Army, he made a demo, and Frank Military, who was at Warner Chappell Publishing, he was the head of Warner Chappell Publishing at the time, somebody had played it for him that worked at Columbia Records, and said, "What do you think of this kid?" He says, "You should give him a deal. He sounds great," and he gave him a deal, and then they became lifelong friends. Wow. And the rest is history.
And the duty that he had picking up the dead and the weather he endured in those final months of World War II, I know totally affected him.
Oh, I'm
through the remainder of his life. I read it and heard him speak about it as well. And he lived to be 96, didn't he?
That's right. Just 2 weeks shy of 97. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And artwork continued to be part of his life, though. I mean, there's a whole gallery page on TonyBennett.com. I love Sunday in Central Park. I remember seeing a feature on that one in particular that I thought, wow, what a beautiful painting.
Yeah, he loved to paint. And when we were on the road, he would paint every day. And whatever city we were in, if there was a museum of any kind of artwork, we were there.
Wow. You think therapeutic almost in a way? Just kind of a way to get away from the stage and just kind of focus in on something there?
Well, he would always say, I don't sing and paint because I like to. I sing and paint because I have to. And I think it was his balance. It was the thing that, it was a part of his identity. It was a part of how he expressed his inner soul.
We're going to feature a song. This is from your Happy Holidays with Love album, which is new. Wherever people get music, they can get it there. Our guest is Antonia Bennett this morning. And Antonia, this song goes back to 1937. I did a little history. The first thing we're going to play, I've got My Love to Keep Me Warm. And just looking at the people who've recorded it, Billie Holiday and her orchestra, Ella and Louis, Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, Idina Menzel and Billy Porter more recently, Dean Martin. Everybody in the standards world has cut this song somewhere along the way. It must have been tough to narrow down the list of the things that you wanted to put on this album.
Well, my dad and I actually had done a duet of this song, and so, and I really wanted to honor my parents with this record because the holidays were such a big deal to them, and they always made it so special for us, and it's just a way that I can kind of keep him close to me.
Yeah.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Antonia Bennett is our special guest. It's Happy Holidays with Love, out and available wherever you get your music on Friday. The full album. We featured I've Got Your Love to Keep Me Warm, My Love to Keep Me Warm. You hear it both ways, but it's My Love officially. I've got My Love to Keep Me Warm. And we were talking just before the break about holidays and memories, and we've talked about your dad, and we'll get back to that. But tell us about your mom. You were sharing that off the air.
Yeah.
And how she and your dad met.
So they met at a party. Dean and Jeannie Martin, Dean Martin and his wife Jeannie had introduced them at a holiday party in Los Angeles, and I think that sparks flew, and the rest is history.
But she's from Louisiana.
She is. She's from. So she was a Truth or Consequence girl. She was on that show, Truth or Consequence.
No way.
Yeah. And she was one of those. She worked with Bob Barker, and she was on a bunch. She did some movies. House Is Not a Home. So she was in Hollywood, kind of working a working actress, and they met, and that's their story. And my mom has quite an amazing history. She's one of 12 from Leesville, Louisiana, and she left me with a lot of great cousins. So I have 32 first cousins on her side. Whoa. I got to see 2 of them last night. A lot of them are spread throughout the South. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What were the sing-alongs like at Christmas at your house?
The sing-alongs were always really fun. There was always a lot of great artists there. I mean, Jack Jones, Kenny Rogers, they were always at the parties. And sometimes we would go to other people's houses, like Frank Sinatra or Mel Torme, and they would send carolers to our house. So they would say, oh, go to this house or go to that house. And there were great songwriters, too. I mean, Sammy Kahn lived across the street from us, so there was always great people around.
That's magical.
What an extraordinary childhood. So what do you have in the way of Christmas memories, things that come to mind, whether it's food or first memories of gifts at Christmas?
My parents really went all out. My mom would decorate this 14-foot Christmas tree. She'd spend a month decorating the tree, and then we would just come at the end and kind of stick a few balls on it. But it was really her masterpiece, and there was always great food around, and we would always have like a family party where all of our relatives would come, and then we would have another party for extended family and friends, and it was a lot of fun. My dad would take us over to Ella Fitzgerald's house every year on Christmas Day after we opened our presents, and we would go over there, and she would always pull every record out of the sleeve. I remember going over to her house and seeing her in her sitting room, and she had records all over the floor, and that was something I could really relate to, because I could see that she got carried away by the music, and that she would just go from one record to the next before even putting them away, and I really felt close to her in that way, and then we would go over to David Hockney's house, who's an incredible artist, and he would give he was there with his mom. My dad would sometimes sketch over there, and David would sketch him, like sketching David's mother, and he'd always kind of find a way to give me an art history lesson, because he was so knowledgeable about so many different things, especially about Asian art. He really knew the history, and so it was always an education.
At what point did you realize Dad's job is not the same as other dads' jobs?
I think I always knew that, because, I grew up in Beverly Hills, and so many of the people that were around were at the top of their craft, and I went to school with a lot of celebrity kids, like Angelina Jolie, John Voight was her dad, or I was also in school with Frank Sinatra's grandchildren, so it seemed kind of normal that, I don't know how to explain that, but because I knew that it was different, but it didn't seem that different to me. It just seemed like, okay, well, these people are really good at what they do. And it wasn't just singers, it was painters and writers and playwrights and dancers. I used to see Fred Astaire walking to the post office every day, like on my way to school. It was just a normal thing.
So when does Lady Gaga, before we get away, I want to make sure I include her in this conversation. When does she become a part of your dad's musical career? Was it the album Cheek to Cheek?
I guess so. They had done a collaboration together, and she really admired my dad, and he really liked her, and she really praised him, and kind of musically, she, especially at the end, she really took amazing care of him in that last show that they did. She was really an anchor for him in a lot of ways at that Radio City stage, even though he could stand on his own and sing. But it was really comforting for the rest of us to know that she was there because she cared for him so deeply and kindly.
You know, Bill referenced you spent more than a quarter of a century touring with your dad. Is there, and you've played just about every iconic venue in the world, is there one that just stands out as like, this is surreal that I'm standing on this stage?
Well, I mean, honestly, when I played the original Opry, that was pretty...
Ryman Auditorium.
Yeah, that felt pretty special to me. I really, there are a lot of great theaters and beautiful concert halls across even this country. There's so many gorgeous ones. And it would be hard to pick one. Obviously, Radio City or the Hollywood Bowl, those are really special, but there's also kind of smaller theaters that are really nice. I really like the Majestic Theater in San Antonio. It kind of looks like a Simply Red video to me, like the set of it. But there's just so many great places and little hidden treasures, all across, scattered all across this country.
Well, the beauty of your voice is it works at a place like the Hollywood Bowl, but it also works at the old Village Vanguard where maybe you cram 100 people in there and it's so intimate. So that's the beauty of this music. I
mean, I like the small rooms too because they are so intimate and special. I mean, both things have their value.
Does the Bennett family eat free in San Francisco to this day?
Well, wherever there's an Italian restaurant. I could be in Japan. And honestly, that was a thing. Whenever we would travel, we could be at the far corners of the world and some guy would come up and say, I have an Italian restaurant, you have to come.
There it is.
Yes, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, signature song for Tony Bennett. And Antonia Bennett, his daughter, is with us this morning with her brand new album, be out on Friday.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Our longtime friend Jason Coleman is in studio this morning. If you go to jasoncolemanmusic.com, piano in the timeless style of his grandfather, Hall of Famer Floyd Kramer, it reads. It also says tour schedule, store, albums and songbooks, watch the show, join Jason's supporter family, and my favorite, give to the tip jar.
I like that.
If you don't ask, they don't give.
That's right. Especially on Giving Tuesday. It's Giving Tuesday, and it's also Christmas. And keep the Colemans in your thoughts and prayers.
You got to stock the tip jar with a little to make sure you don't want. Nobody wants to be the first.
You got to start it with something.
Exactly.
I think Granddad would say during his concerts that all the proceeds from his sales would support a needy family, of which he was the head. So the legacy continues.
Hazel Smith, you say, and it supports my favorite charity, me.
It's good to see you.
Hey, it's always good to be back. Thank you all for having me here on this chilly morning. Oh my goodness!
And you haven't played the piano in here, but we haven't had a piano in our new studio.
I know
before.
here at the beautiful Acuff house. I was here, I think, the first week or two y'all were around, and everything. I think chords were still running everywhere. So we decided today we could haul the piano from home and have some fun.
I know what you're thinking. If they're going to put a piano in there, I'll bring my own.
That's right.
So they did.
So I'm curious, though. With a guitar, I obviously know what drastic temperatures do. Does it affect you? Do you have to let your keyboard come to room temperature?
I reckon. We got the keyboard. I didn't haul my grand piano up the stairs in this morning, but it is funny, because if you're a guitar player and you're going out and and I do tour concerts all over the place, and when you're a guitar player, you have your own guitar, you know what to expect every time. But when you're a piano player, you pretty much. At least I do. I play whatever's there, and a lot of folks are real proud of their pianos, and they get them all tuned up for you. But every now and then, you show up at a venue, at a theater, and they think they've tuned the piano, but at least it's country music. It sounds a little twang doesn't hurt things every now and then.
Can you tune? I mean, it's been years since I've watched somebody do that. It's a huge process. I mean, in a pinch, could you? Or
No. It is. An art and a science. I thought one time at home, it was actually back during pandemic stuff, and I thought, I don't want to bring some piano, in my house. What am I thinking? So I thought, well, I bought on Amazon one of those little, I don't even know what they're called, little tuning doohickeys. Yeah. And I thought, well, I'll try. I had a couple of notes that were messed up, so I thought, how hard could it be? And I got it on there and cranked it a little bit, and like that went back to Amazon real quick. So it is a whole different animal. My buddies at AMO Pianos in Lebanon take care of all of our pianos at our family, and it's not for me.
The good news is, once they're in tune, they do tend to stay in tune for
They
a
do
while,
pretty well.
right?
They do pretty well. And the good thing about playing Floyd Kramer style versus Jerry Lee Lewis style is that they stay in tune a little better than when you're banging away at it, if you were.
You mentioned guitar guys earlier. If you're a guitarist, you have guitars, plural, and in some cases it's an addiction. They
Can
have
be.
lots of them. Is that the case with pianos at your house?
Well, I don't go out buying them, that's for sure. They're a little bit more of an investment, but we have over the years between my granddad and all of our family, we had a few to spread around. So he's still got 3 pianos at his house, at my grandma Mary's house up in Madison. I've got his big Steinway Grand that he's had back since the 70s. We actually still have his original piano that he played since he was 5 years old, growing up in a little town in Arkansas, in Huttig, Arkansas. It's a little Wurlitzer Spinet from 1939 when he first started playing the piano, and it still is at my grandma Mary's house and still in pretty good shape, and it's fun to plunk around on, actually.
What does this sound like? Because, I mean, you think about something like that. Is it higher tinny sound? How would you describe that sound?
It sounds like a 1939 Wurlitzer Spinet. It's got some character to it, and even if you get it tuned up, it's got a little character. But it's really wild for me to think about. You know, I mean, any of the legends that we think of today, Floyd Kramer or anybody, at some point started out as, in most cases, a kid playing their first notes or singing their first notes. And to think that now with my little boy too, who's 7, like, and he's been playing since he was, 2 and 3 years old, and the same for me when I was a kid. Like Floyd Kramer at some point was a little, 5-year-old kid in Huttig, Arkansas, and his family saw him taking a liking to music and got the piano for them, and he played his first notes on those very keys. And it's cool to think that's still sort of carrying on through our family here too.
So Wurlitzer in the day would have been what like Sears Silvertone would have been to the guitar. It was kind of like this is your starter kit.
Absolutely.
Price is Right as a kid always gave away the Wurlitzer player piano as part of like the grand showcase back in the day too. I can remember. Yeah.
So update us on your grandmother. You referenced grandmother Mary.
Oh, Grandma Mary keeps us all in line. She just turned, I may be spoiling for her, but she just turned 90 years old this past fall. We had a big old celebration, and they still lives in the same house that she and my granddad lived in since they moved to Nashville on their 1-year wedding anniversary back in 1955 and moved to this little house a few years later. And so it's always been the Kramer family home, and she's doing great. She's listening right now, I'm sure. Are
we going to see her in an album cover? We're going to play in just a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, yeah. I look back. Granddad's Christmas album back from 1967. They did the album shoot. I think it was the middle of summertime, and it was Granddad and my grandma and my mom, Donna, my Aunt Diane, are all on the cover. Some folks probably have this album in their own collections, but my mom was 7 or 8 at the time, and she remembers opening, or they had the presents there middle of summertime. They were all dressed up in their Christmas, and she tried to open all the presents, and they were all empty. So it was not fun.
The audience can see it now as they watch on Circle Country, and I've linked this favorite streaming platform there too. There it is. Great photo. So speaking of that, Nashville Gathering. Give us the update on the television show that we're going to give away tickets here in just a second. But
yeah, I'm so excited. This coming Monday, December 9th, we have our first ever live in-person edition of the Jason Coleman Show. So for the last several years now, I've been broadcasting these weekly piano concerts from my own home, and we broadcast them here on WSM Radio on Sunday nights, and it's been just awesome to get to share the concerts, sort of a homegrown effort, but it's hard to invite folks into your home for an audience and to have some fun. So for the first time, we're having an actual big in-person event. This Monday night, it'll be a live concert, and we're going to be recording it for WSM specials here in the next year and recording it for TV in the future too. So it's a big night. We've got some special guests, Charlie McCoy and Emily West and more. So it's a big concert right here. We got a few tickets still available if folks want to come out and join us on Monday night, a Riverside Revival here in Nashville, and it is brought to you by our friends at AMO Pianos and, of course, our friend Mr. Gus Arundel and Springer Mountain Farms as well are helping out.
Cool.
And let's go ahead and give away a pair of tickets. If you've not won in 30 days and have an email address, we'd love to do that. And you can be a part of Jason's television taping, Jason Coleman. And again, at 615-737-9650, 615-737-9650, 30-day win limit, email address.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Jason Coleman is here. You hear him on WSM Radio. How long have you been with us now?
3 years now, unbelievably. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Of course, right now, I guess I'm making way for something called the Grand Ole Opry on Sunday nights for the next few weeks, but we'll be back on Sunday nights here in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're doing
You got
Opry Country
booted?
Christmas.
You got booted for
I guess
Bill Cody?
I guess I'll share with the Opry.
Okay.
This is WSM, so
You're generous like that.
yeah, it's Christmas season.
3 years.
You're giving.
I'll share.
3 years on WSM or 3 minutes underwater. It's about the same. Isn't it?
Same
Kinda
difference.
feels the same.
Terrible.
Of course, Nashville Gathering television taping is Monday the 9th. That's this coming Monday, Riverside Revival. And you've got Emily West, extraordinarily talented, and of
Love
course,
her.
Hall of Famer. And your granddaddy's running buddy, Charlie McCoy.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a great night of music.
Kelly had a story earlier about Brenda Lee and rocking around a Christmas tree. Is now, what's the official quote?
It is the official holiday song for the state of Tennessee.
I saw that.
that
Yes,
cool?
and rightly so, I would say.
Yeah.
And your granddad was on that session.
He was pretty much any session, any song that's a timeless song. You could look back and say, well, Floyd Kramer played that session, but that one in particular, it's one you hear all the time, and he was sure enough tinkling along on it.
Well, I know Charlie McCoy's at 15,000 plus sessions. Bob Moore, who played bass, 17,000 or more. Any idea on your grandfather?
We've
In
never
that-
had
in that same ballpark. I would
It's
think.
got to be because he played on, so many things. In the 50s and 60s, it was either him or Pig Robbins pretty much that played on most everything. And Granddad, during that era of the Nashville sound, he was just on everything. So I'm still finding new songs that I think I know a lot about my granddad by now, but I'm still discovering new things.
I
Well,
know
and he-
they were friends, but was there ever one that your granddad was like, "Oh, Pig got that one, and I wish I would have had it"?
I would never speak of such thing. I'm
Okay.
sure- I think they all. There was enough to go around, I believe, for
I thought
everybody.
so.
And were they friends?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Granddad through the years had a good respect for him and Ronnie Millsap and all the other piano greats who were great entertainers too, for sure.
Yeah. We've got Jason Coleman in studio this morning, getting ready for Christmas time and his Nashville Gathering television taping on Monday, Riverside Revival. That's this Monday the 9th. And again, Charlie McCoy and Emily West are there. Your grandfather had a signature sound. If
He
you
did.
would kind of speak to that and play a little of that.
Well, yeah, we got
in
the
this-
piano here. Might as well play a couple of things. Yeah, so Granddad was known for the style he called the slip note, and what it was, he sort of made the piano sound like a steel guitar, honestly, because you think about a piano is not really like the first instrument that comes to mind when you think about country music, and he was one of the first ones to help sort of pave the way for it to fit right into all these sessions. And so, like you think about, well, it is Christmas time, so you think about a song like Silver Bells. If I were to play Silver Bells with no extra style, it would be like this. If you add the slip note in, it sounds like this. So he added this little, he called it like a mistake and a correction. So instead of hitting right on the melody, instead of going, you do. And the same thing with a steel guitar or a fiddle, where it sort of just starts on one note and slides or bends into the next note. And with the piano, you can't really like slide or bend the notes, but he made it sound like you could.
So for him, the slip note was the Earl Scruggs three-finger roll.
It sort of was.
He discovered this thing that nobody else,
And
at least they hadn't been doing.
Right,
it
and he
prior.
said it wasn't a new sound. Like he said, it was, steel guitar and fiddle started it. Please Help Me, I'm Falling was really the first song that he played, Hank Lachlan. And Don Robertson, who wrote the song, he played in that style too. And Granddad was the one that sort of just for whatever reason, it sort of caught fire. And that was 1960 when Please Help Me, I'm Falling came out. And it was later that year that he wrote.
As the years passed, it would find its way to lyrical content. Who put lyrics to Last Day?
Yeah, of course, Last State, Granddad wrote the melody in 1960, and that really was what sort of solidified that style as his signature style. But Skeeter Davis had a hit with it just that same year, the year later, I believe. And then In the 70s, Conway Twitty wrote some lyrics for it and had a #1 country hit with it at that point. And then Emmylou Harris in the 80s took Conway's lyrics and flipped it from a male to a female, the lyrics, and had a #1 hit with it then as well.
And have I lost my mind, or did Conway not do a Russian version?
If he did, then I wouldn't accuse you of losing your mind, of course. But he might have.
There is
maybe
a
so.
spoken word thing in Russian from Conway, and I thought it was Last Date.
Really?
That he did. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We'll look it up. We'll see.
All right.
We'll consult our fact checkers on that.
Hello, darling.
Oh,
In
hello,
Russian.
darling.
In Russian? Hello, darling? Okay.
Wow. Okay. I had no clue. Country music knows no bounds.
Once you hear it, you will not be able to unhear it.
That'd make a nice holiday rendition you should share with us sometime, Bill.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Early December, and when I think about Christmas time, I always think about Andy Williams as Mr. Christmas in my life growing up. We were talking about Variety on Main with Mandy Barnett yesterday, and how the variety show was so much a part of your life if you're of a certain age. And Andy Williams, I just knew it was going to be special when Andy Williams' television show at Christmas time came on. And today's his birth anniversary. That's why I bring it up. He was born December 3rd, 1927.
In Rhode Island, we knew it when Santa came down the hill in the Norelco Razor.
Oh,
That was
there's
our clue that Christmas is right around.
He may have
what?
actually, that
The
commercial.
Norelco electric razor. So their commercial back in the day was Santa Claus riding down the snowy mountains on the Norelco razor.
And chances are that commercial could have aired in the Andy Williams television special.
Perhaps,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That and I think it was Reuniti with the glasses of champagne. Ding, da, da, ding, da, da.
Corbell,
Corbell.
I think.
Oh well, we were a Reuniti family. How can I say? I don't know. Didn't have that.
Oh.
Didn't have that kind of money for Corbell.
I think I'm right with Corbell.
I had no idea.
And then 1925, he was one of the great characters.
You're very young. That's why.
I'm like, I don't know any
We were
of these
talking
things.
about the top 100 Billboard artists in country music history yesterday.
Yes.
And his name didn't come up, but it should have. We talked about Farron Young. But Ferlin Husky was born on this date in 1925. Same year WSM came on the air. Of course, he would famously go on to play the Grand Ole Opry.
So he was a couple months younger than the Opry then, right? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
See,
25, yeah.
yeah, he was born in December, so we'd been on the air a couple of months when he was born. He
Got there just in time.
Got out of his limo to walk the red carpet on his induction night at the Country Music Hall of Fame. And he had his daughter, I remember Julie was on one arm and the other daughter on the other arm. And as he got out of the limo and started at the red carpet, he looked at me and said, "Cody, a couple of girls I met in Vegas."
Oh my gosh.
He had the most wonderful sense of humor.
I bet his daughters were
They
like,
just-
Dad.
oh, they did the
just
big time eye roll.
Stop,
Yeah.
Dad. Come on. Dad, you're embarrassing us. I love that. That's what dads are supposed to do.
Yes.
Well, we said it earlier, but it bears saying again. Congratulations, Brenda Lee, because now she has the official holiday song for the state of Tennessee. You know it. You love it. Let's rock around the Christmas tree. It was filed as House Bill 1613, and it was passed into legislation. Now it is known as our official holiday song of the state of Tennessee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. So congratulations to Little Miss Dynamite. 65 years. Actually, this December is 66 years since it's been out. And last year, on its 65th anniversary of the song, it went back to #1, which is really cool and very special.
You know how she and Ronnie met?
No.
They had gone to was it Little Anthony and the Imperials? It was one of those groups from that time period concert. She and Rita Coolidge were girlfriends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, teenage girlfriends.
Yeah.
And he gave her his number. He saw her and gave her his number.
Oh,
Or she gave him, maybe it was the other way, but she gave him her number. And she did, that was what it was, because Rita said, "You're going to do that?" She said, "Yeah."
Oh.
And he didn't call back for like 2 months.
Oh my. I would have moved on by then. Sorry there, friend.
Yeah.
I got an expiration date. You need to get on that.
But when he did, it was on.
Okay. Well, we are very happy that is our holiday song. I think we all agree that is the perfect one. All right, Ella Langley, she almost didn't release her song. Much different tone with this one. It will get stuck in your head, by the way. But here's why she said she never thought this was going to be a big deal.
I didn't think the song was ever going to come out in the first place. It was just a song in my audio recordings for almost a year after we wrote it. And a girl named Maya Hansen believed in it enough to slip it in every Dropbox link picking for the album, and everyone loved it. And then Riley asked us on tour, and when I was listening to the cut, I was thinking, dang, how cool would it be if we turned it into a duet and kind of gave the guy's side of a woman walking up to him in the bar in the first place.
There you go. The rest is history. Won her first CMA award from that song with Riley Green.
It just dawned on me. It was Jackie Wilson that Rita Coolidge and Brenda Lee had gone to see.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I knew it would come to me.
Okay, well, tonight is the big night. We've been talking about it. CMA Country Christmas. It's going to be happening on ABC. You've got two fantastic hosts, Trisha Yearwood and Amy Grant. And Trisha said she was really excited to get the phone call for this.
I was really excited to get the call to come back and co-host again with you, Amy, because it was so much fun last year. And when you're in the music industry, you kind of see each other at things and you get a chance to kind of say hello, but you don't get a chance to really spend much time together. And last year was the first time I got to really just see how funny you are and just how you are a sense of calm. I talk 90 miles an hour and you're just this sense of calm that is so nice. And you're Amy Grant, so that's pretty cool. We're not very far apart in age, but you started your career very young, and so you were very influential on me as a young girl. So just to be able to perform with you and be here with you is the best.
When she said, and you're Amy Grant, so that's cool.
I like the part where she said, and I talked 90 miles an hour, and Amy never spoke during that piece.
Right. Again, tonight it's happening, and just get ready because John Party is going to be a part of CMA Country Christmas as well as several of our other favorites, but he's not going warm and fuzzy. He's not going traditional. He's going full-blown 400 horsepower sleigh. It's off his Christmas record. If you haven't heard it, it is written by Rhett Akins, and it is exactly what you think it is. Think high horsepower, but with Santa Claus in the mix. He said there's a lot of ho-ho-hos and a lot of hey-hey-heys. It's one of my favorites off the record, and it's kind of the song that we're pushing this year for Christmas. He told me, because I said, when you were doing a Christmas album, why not do traditional? And he goes, nobody wants that. They want something fun and upbeat.
That's what he opened with for the first show of Opry Country Classics this year on Sunday night was 400 horsepower sleigh.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody all over the world on WSM Radio, and you can watch us at Circle Country Television, circlecountry.com, or link to your favorite streaming platform from there. You've got the Tuesday Night Opera. You want to run your lineup
I
before we go?
do. It's going to be a fun show tonight. We will be there when the big red curtain goes up at 7 with John Conley. William Beckman is going to be there. Dylan Schneider, Connie Smith, Marty Stewart, and the fabulous Superlatives. Henry Cho and Ashley McBride.
Tomorrow's Coffee, Country, and Cody, among other things, tickets to see Alison Krauss and Union Station at Ascenda Amphitheater next August. That seems like a long way off. It'll be here before you know it, but you can win it with us tomorrow morning on Coffee, Country, and Cody, all over the world on WSN Radio, and again, Circle Country Television, circlecountry.com. Grand Ole Opry star Pam Tillis from the Opry Plaza in the Acuff House studio.